Your pickup left the factory with features nobody walked you through at the dealership, and a few of them can save you a repair bill that runs into the thousands. I'm going to show you 18 of them, including a temperature reading that protects your transmission every time you tow, a cord hiding behind your bumper that most owners never find, and a knob on the dash of some newer trucks that backs a trailer up for you. But we're starting at the front bumper, with two hooks you've looked at 1,000 times and never once questioned. Feature 18. Front tow hooks. Those heavy steel hooks poking through your front bumper aren't decoration and they aren't cargo tie-downs. They're rated recovery points, bolted directly to the frame, put there so a stuck truck can be pulled out without ripping the bumper off. That distinction matters, because wrapping a recovery strap around a bumper bracket or a suspension arm is how people turn a stuck truck into a damaged one. Or worse, launch a broken part at whoever's standing nearby. Use the hooks. Use a proper recovery strap rather than a chain, and pull in line with the frame, not at a sharp angle. Some trucks hide the rear recovery point too, threaded into the hitch receiver or tucked behind a plastic cover in the rear bumper. Find yours on a calm afternoon, because the moment you actually need them usually involves mud, rain, and a bad mood. And the next feature has a switch you've probably never pressed, controlling a window you forgot could move. Feature 17. The power sliding rear window. Walk around any parking lot and you'll see the same small pane in the middle of every truck's back glass. On a huge number of crew cabs, that center pane is powered, and it slides open at the press of a switch that hides on the overhead console or low on the dash where nobody looks. Open it a crack on the highway, and you get airflow through the cab without the wind blast of a side window. Open it fully and you can reach into the bed from the driver's seat, grab a strap, pass tools through, or check on a dog riding back there. Owners have driven their trucks for years assuming that pane was fixed glass, because the switch sits outside the places hands normally go. Hunt down yours this week. But the next feature turns the back half of your cab into something the brochure never showed you. Feature 16. The fold-flat rear floor. You know the storage bins under the rear seat. What fewer owners discover is what happens above them. On many crew cabs, the rear seat cushions flip up and lock vertically against the seat back, opening up a flat, carpeted load floor that runs door to door inside the cab. That's the spot for anything that can't ride in an open bed, a television, bags of concrete you need kept dry, a toolbox you'd rather not advertise, groceries in a rainstorm. Some models include tie-down points or cargo hooks back there that owners have never noticed, because they've never flipped the cushion to look. It effectively gives your truck a small enclosed cargo van hiding behind the front seats. Fold it once and you'll start planning hauls around it. Now, the next feature involves removing a part of your truck on purpose, exactly the way the engineers intended. Feature 15. The removable front air dam. That low plastic lip hanging beneath your front bumper, the one that scrapes on every steep driveway and drags on gravel 2-tracks, is there for highway fuel economy, smoothing airflow under the truck. What the dealer never mentions is that on many pickups it's designed to unbolt in minutes with basic hand tools, and some owners' manuals openly describe removing it for off-road use. Take it off before hunting season or a trip down rough roads and you gain real ground clearance at the front, then bolt it back on for daily highway driving to keep the fuel savings. No cutting, no modification, just fasteners the factory intended you to find. Check whether yours comes off before you tear it off on a rock instead. Meanwhile, the next feature has been dangling behind your bumper through every cold snap you've ever cursed at. Feature 14. The block heater cord. Plenty of trucks, and not just diesels, left the factory with an engine block heater already installed, and the plug for it is a short pigtail cord tucked behind the front bumper or grille, sometimes still zip-tied exactly where the assembly line left it. Plug that cord into a regular extension cord overnight and the heater keeps your engine warm, which means easier starts on brutal mornings, heat from the vents within a couple of minutes, and far less of the cold start wear that does most of an engine's lifetime damage. Owners in cold states have driven trucks for a decade without knowing the cord was there, paying for remote starters to do a worse job. Reach behind your bumper this weekend and feel around, because if you find that plug, winter mornings just change for good. Before we get to the towing features that surprise even longtime truck owners, take 1 second and hit that like button. Digging through owner's manuals and wiring diagrams for this stuff takes a while, and it genuinely helps the channel keep making these. Done. Thank you. Now let's talk about the number that decides whether your transmission survives towing season. Feature 13, the transmission temperature gauge. Heat is what kills transmissions, and towing is what makes heat. Overheated fluid breaks down, stops protecting the clutches, and turns into a $5,000 rebuild, usually with no warning light until the damage is done. What many owners never discover is that their truck will show them transmission fluid temperature in real time, buried in the instrument cluster's gauge menu or the driver information screen. Bring it up whenever you're towing and glance at it on long grades. Fluid running around normal operating temperature is fine. Watch it start climbing past that on a hot day with a heavy trailer and you know to back off, drop a gear, or pull over and idle before any damage happens, instead of finding out at the repair counter. One screen in a menu you've never opened, standing guard over the most expensive component in your drivetrain. But the next feature takes over in the exact moment a trailer tries to take over your truck. Feature 12, trailer sway control. Every trailer owner knows the feeling. A gust or a passing semi sets the trailer wagging, and each swing gets a little wider. Built into the stability control of many modern pickups is a system watching for exactly that. Yaw sensors detect the rhythm of trailer sway, and the truck responds by braking individual wheels and trimming engine power to pull the whole rig straight again, faster and more precisely than a driver's hands can. Your part is knowing what to do when you feel it working, which is to keep the wheel steady, stay off the brake pedal, and let off the gas gently, because slamming the brakes mid-sway is what puts rigs in the median. It also can't repeal physics, so tongue weight and loading still matter. But knowing that system is under you and how to work with it changes how a windy interstate feels. Now, about the connector you plug in before every trip without knowing half of what it does. Feature 11, the charge circuit in your 7-pin connector. That round 7-pin plug at your hitch isn't just running the trailer's lights and brakes. One of those pins carries a constant 12-volt charge circuit fed from your truck, and it's there to keep your trailer's battery topped up while you drive. That's the battery running your trailer's breakaway brake system, the emergency setup that stops the trailer if it ever separates from the truck. And on campers, it's feeding the interior power too. When owners complain their trailer battery is always dead, a failed fuse on that circuit, or a truck that never had the circuit activated from the factory is the usual culprit. And it's a cheap fix once you know to look. A $10 circuit tester on the 7-pin socket tells you in 30 seconds whether every pin is doing its job. Check it before camping season, not at the campground. And the next feature means your truck has been keeping records you never knew existed. Feature 10, trailer profiles. On many newer pickups, the trailering menu lets you create a profile for each trailer you own: the boat, the camper, the utility trailer, and the truck starts keeping books for you. It stores each trailer's brake gain setting so you're not redialing it every hookup, tracks the miles each trailer travels, and can remind you when a trailer is due for wheel bearing service or tire replacement based on those miles. Maintenance that almost everyone forgets until a bearing fails on the interstate. Some systems even run a light check tied to the profile. It turns the guesswork of trailer upkeep into a log the truck maintains automatically, and owners with 3 trailers and 1 memory will understand exactly why that matters. Spend 10 minutes setting up profiles once, and every future trip starts smarter. The next feature is a position on a lever you've been told your whole life never to use. Feature 9, transfer case neutral. Your four-wheel drive selector has positions everyone knows, and then it has neutral, which disconnects the transmission from all four wheels entirely. And there are two moments where it earns its place. First, flat towing. If you ever pull your truck behind a motorhome with all four tires on the ground, transfer case neutral is what lets the wheels spin freely without the engine running, and skipping the exact procedure in the manual is how transmissions get destroyed on the back of an RV. Second, recovery. When your truck is being winched or pulled out by another vehicle, neutral in the transfer case lets it roll completely free. The procedure usually involves the brake pedal, a specific shift sequence, and a few seconds of patience. And it varies by brand, so read your manual's version once in the driveway. It's a feature you'll use twice in your life, and both times you'll be very glad you knew it existed. If these are the kinds of features you want to know about your own truck, hit subscribe, because I dig up hidden vehicle features exactly like these every single week. Now look down at those round plastic covers in your bed floor. Feature 8, the Gooseneck puck system. Walk trucks at any dealership and you'll see heavy-duty beds with a pattern of round plastic plugs set flush into the floor. Pop those covers, and underneath sits a factory gooseneck and fifth wheel prep package. Machined mounting pucks tied into the frame itself, ready to accept a gooseneck ball or fifth wheel hitch with no drilling and no welding. Owners have bought used trucks, hauled with bumper hitches for years, and never realized their bed floor was hiding several thousand pounds of additional towing capability under 4 plastic discs. If you're shopping used, those pucks add real value. And if your truck has them, a compatible ball or hitch drops in and pulls right back out, leaving a flat bed when you're done. Pop one cover this week and see what your bed has been keeping quiet. But the next feature answers a question every truck owner has asked mid-cleanup. Feature 7, bed drains and washout design. Ever hesitated before hosing out a filthy bed, wondering where all that water goes? The engineers already answered it. Truck beds have drain channels and drain holes built low into the corners and along the bulkhead, positioned so water sheets out underneath instead of pooling around your cargo or seeping toward the taillight wiring. Composite and spray-lined beds are made to be flooded and scrubbed. The part worth checking is that those drains stay clear, because a season of leaves, sawdust, and gravel packs them shut, and a bed that can't drain holds standing water against metal seams all winter, which is exactly how rust starts its work. 2 minutes with a screwdriver clearing each drain hole every fall keeps the system doing its job. Hose it out with confidence. Now, the next feature turns the most stressful 60 seconds of towing into a one-person job. Feature 6, the hitch guidance camera. Lining a hitch ball under a trailer coupler used to take 2 people, one driving and one waving their arms in the mirror. The tailgate camera on many newer trucks was built for exactly this moment, and it does more in that screen than owners realize. Shift into reverse near a trailer, and you can zoom the view straight down onto the hitch ball with dynamic guidance lines that bend as you steer, showing precisely where the ball is headed. Creep backward, keep the line on the coupler, and you can land a hitch within an inch alone on the first try. Some trucks add a bed view for gooseneck hookups, watching the ball through the open tailgate from the cab. Owners who fought this chore for 30 years try the zoom once and never go back. Poke through your camera screen's buttons next time you're hooking up. But the next feature exists for the coldest, hardest working days your truck will ever see. Feature 5, snowplow prep and high idle mode. Trucks optioned for plowing carry more than a beefier front end, and one piece of it is useful to far more people than plow drivers. It's high idle mode, a setting or switch sequence that raises engine idle speed on command while parked. The point is the alternator. At normal idle, an engine barely spins the alternator fast enough to feed a plow, a winch, a lift gate, or a cab full of electronics on a freezing morning, and the battery slowly loses the fight. High idle spins everything faster, keeps the charging system ahead of the load, and warms a cold engine quicker in the bargain. On diesels, it's often there to build heat on winter idle. The activation method varies. Sometimes a menu, sometimes a cruise control button sequence at idle. So check your manual for yours. If your truck works for a living, this setting has been waiting for you. And the next feature does the math that keeps trucks out of trouble. Feature 4, onboard scales and smart hitch. You might remember the payload sticker in the door jamb, the number that says what your truck can actually carry. Knowing the limit is one thing. Knowing what you're carrying right now is the part nobody could easily do until a few of the newest trucks started weighing themselves. Onboard scales read the suspension and show your current payload right on the dash or your phone, and some even light up segments in the taillights like a battery meter while you load, so you can watch your remaining capacity from the bed. The smart hitch side does the same for tongue weight, telling you whether the trailer is pressing down on the ball inside the safe range, which is the single number behind most sway problems. No more guessing whether the firewood, the toolboxes, and the family put you over. The truck just tells you. If you're shopping new, it's worth asking for by name. Now, before the 2 towing features that close this list, a quick one that takes 2 minutes and saves an hour on a dark shoulder. Feature 3, the jack and tool kit location. You may already know the trick for lowering the spare tire through the bumper. What strands people isn't the spare. It's spending 40 minutes in the dark figuring out where the factory hid the jack and the crank rods that make the whole system work. In most pickups, they're behind or under the rear seat, clamped behind a trim panel with wing bolts, and there's often a foam tray holding pieces in a specific order that matters. Open that panel once in your driveway. Confirm every rod section is present. Check whether your truck uses a security key for the spare winch and that it's actually in the glove box. And run the jack up and down once so you know how it feels. Trucks get sold used with half the kit missing, and owners find out at the worst possible moment. 2 minutes of checking beats an hour of misery every time. But the next feature watches the tires your truck can't see. Feature 2, trailer tire monitoring. Your truck warns you the moment one of its own tires loses pressure, then lets the trailer behind you, the one carrying the boat or the camper, run on tires it knows nothing about. Trailer tires fail constantly. They sit for months, age out before they wear out, and a blowout at highway speed can slap a trailer sideways before you touch the brakes. Many newer trucks can fix that blind spot because their trailering system supports add-on tire sensors for the trailer's wheels, cheap screw-on or internal sensors that report pressure and temperature for every trailer tire straight to your dash. Rising temperature in one tire is the early signature of a failing bearing or dragging brake, so the system can flag a problem miles before it becomes a fire or a wreck. Check whether your trailering menu supports trailer sensors, because for the price of a dinner out, your truck starts watching the whole rig. Which brings us to the number 1 feature, the one that solves the most humiliating moment in truck ownership. Feature 1, the trailer backup assist knob. Backing a trailer breaks brains. Because the trailer steers backward, every input is reversed, and everyone at the boat ramp is watching. Some newer trucks now carry a small knob on the dash that changes the whole equation. Line up in reverse, take your hands off the wheel, and turn the knob the direction you want the trailer to go. The truck does the reversed steering math for you, spinning the steering wheel on its own while you simply point the trailer with the knob and control the speed with the pedal, watching it all on the camera. A maneuver that takes years to get smooth that happens on the first afternoon, straight down a narrow ramp, around a corner into a storage spot, back into a campsite between 2 trees. It needs a one-time setup with a sticker on the trailer so the camera can track the angle, and after that, the boat ramp audience loses its power over you forever. If any feature sells a truck on its own, it's this one. So how many of those did you already know? Drop a comment below and tell me which one surprised you the most. And if even one of these saves you a repair bill or a stuck afternoon, hit that subscribe button because your truck is still hiding more secrets and I've got more videos coming. This next one covers even more features mechanics never bother to explain. Give it a click. Thank you.